Hey everyone, my name is Brian Engelbrecht, and this is a review for the CBS TV show Person of Interest.
We are being watched.
Person of Interest is a sci-fi action thriller that follows a reclusive billionaire and computer genius named Harold Finch, who designed a machine for the government that could spy on everyone, everywhere, as a way to prevent acts of terrorism before they actually happen. Anyone who is involved in a crime that is not a direct threat to national security is put in an irrelevant list. Finch began feeling guilty that these people were not being saved and he had the knowledge to do something about it. So he decided to seek out an ex-CIA agent named John Reese, who had basically given up on life altogether. And once he convinced him that these people were worth saving and he had the ability to do so, this unlikely duo began changing the world one life at a time. Person of Interest is my all-time favorite show, and I consider it a must-see for everyone because of its relevance to our real-life modern society. It has an amazing soundtrack to back it up, and the acting and writing are superb, and I'll tie those together because one really can't thrive without the other. Now, before I start worshiping the show, there's something you may want to know. This show gets very complex very fast. There's a lot of people and organizations to remember, and sometimes their motives change more than once. It can be a lot to keep track of. On top of that, with Finch and a few other characters, there's a lot of computer talk, and if any of these traits seem unappealing, then the show may not be for you. Now, back to why the show is so amazing. In contrast to a lot of other fictional TV shows out there, the themes and lessons presented in Person of Interest are completely relevant to our modern lives. One of them being the idea that every life matters and everyone is equal. In the design of the machine, Finch did everything in his power to make sure that it overlooked status, wealth, and any other details about a person and just focused on saving as many lives as possible.
I don't think that anyone is worth more than anyone else.
And throughout the show, the team encounters a lot of opposition to this idea, so the lesson really sticks. Now, if you've been keeping up with current events, you probably understand why we all could use a reminder of this simple fact every now and then. This series also tackles the issue of privacy versus safety. The only way to ensure that the machine can truly prevent acts of terrorism before they happen is to grant it access to everyone's personal information. For obvious reasons, this could make a lot of people upset.
These programs are always going to be controversial, but also inevitable. People get up in arms whenever they go public, and eventually the noise dies down, because the simple truth is that people want to be protected. They just don't want to know how.
And that becomes all too true when a privacy terrorist organization rises up and causes a lot of trouble for everyone involved with the machine.
You want to shoot me? Because I had to tap a few phone calls, read a few emails, then you go right ahead. But you better turn that gun on yourself next, Mr. Collier, because you have broken just as many laws. And the only difference is I didn't wrap myself up in the American flag and try to convince people that I was a hero.
Now, we may not have artificial intelligence of this caliber in the real world yet, but government surveillance does exist, and some people are already unhappy about it, and so the idea of technology improving is getting a lot of people worried. And finally, the most prominent theme presented in Person of Interest is the growth of artificial intelligence. Most science fiction entertainment includes technology that's either hundreds of years into the future or just plain impossible. But AI is here, it's being developed, it's just not perfect yet. The frightening technology portrayed in this show is not that different from our reality. So while the growth of technology can help us in numerous ways, this show reminds us that it's important to be wary of our progress and not let our ambition get the best of us. Ramin Djawadi deserves a lot of praise for his musical score. No matter what the characters are experiencing in any given scene, the musical score sets the tone perfectly. And that's not just for the instrumental music, but also for the individual songs used as soundtrack as well. The repeated melodies throughout the score have what I can only describe as a quiet intensity to them. Here's a little preview of my favorite piece from the score, and if we're not including the action-specific music, this is probably the most dramatic. Pretty awesome, right? The main cast and the script are incredible, and together they truly make the characters come alive. Not only are all the characters distinct from each other, but they're also rather unique from similar characters in other shows. You've got the billionaire computer genius with a gentle heart, the calm and collected CIA agent, the honorable cop who's willing to bend the rules to do the right thing, the dirty cop who's making up for his past sins, the quirky, sociopathic hacker with skills to spare, the government operative trying to find where her loyalties lie, and more. And when these talented actors start reciting their lines, the story just pulls you in, and it keeps you at the edge of your seat. The script for the show is just a goldmine of memorable quotes, but one of my favorites is from when Finch is teaching the machine how to play chess.
But if you remember nothing else, please remember this. Chess is just a game. Real people aren't pieces. You can't assign more value to some of them than to others. Not to me, not to anyone. People are not a thing that you can sacrifice. The lesson is that anyone who looks on the world as if it was a game of chess deserves to lose.
Notice how that ties back into the theme of every life being important. Here's the deal. The plot for this show is far too complex and developed for me to cover in this video, but I can guarantee you, if you give this show a chance, you will not be disappointed. The show has officially ended after 5 amazing seasons, so it's perfect for binge watching. You can purchase your own box sets, and it's even on Netflix right now, so there's no reason not to check it out. Thanks for watching and enjoy the show.